Hi, welcome to today's session. This is a more advanced side-lying leg series with the legs straight the whole time. If you've mastered the bent leg series, then go ahead and give this one a try. We're going to start on our sides. Same positioning of the torso as before. You're going to line up your shoulders, the back of the ribs, and the back of the hips along the back side of the mat. And you want to bring your legs forward so that your toes are touching the front side of the mat. I want you to reach long through the top hip, and as you do that, it should create a little bit of an oblique lift. So this bottom side of your body should feel a little bit of a lift up off the mat. From here, you're going to externally rotate the upper leg bones, those femurs, in the socket so that your heels are together, your toes are apart. So just double check that you're reaching long through that top leg so that your heels are even. You don't want the top heel to be lifted higher, and you don't want that top hip to be rocking back. So everything is stacked, shoulders, ribs, hips are stacked, heels are even, that little bit of lift through the obliques. You can either have your head on your hand, which I like to do, or you can come all the way down and have your head on your arm. If you do that, try to put a little bit of a pillow or a towel under your head for neck alignment. From here, you're going to reach long out that top leg, abs are tight, and keep reaching up, 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 up. You're moving the upper leg bone in the socket, and then you're gonna point the toes, keep reaching out as far as you can to bring the leg down. And again, flex the foot, reach long through the heel to come up, and point, reaching out. This is all about energy and proper hip placement. So again, you're making sure the leg is moving in the socket as you do this. You're not allowing the hips to move to give you the appearance of that leg being higher. Try to create space between the rib and the pelvis on that top side, even as that leg's going up. Two more here. Trying to keep that spiraling open of that upper leg bone and keeping the reach of that pelvis. From here, keep the toes pointed. You're going to glide those toes along the bottom leg to bend the knee. My knee is reaching towards the ceiling. If you don't have this amount of external rotation, you want to go as far as you can with the femur opening in the socket for your ability. I don't want you to have this external rotation and then have your hips rocking back to make it look like your knees up to the ceiling. So drag the toes, and you're going to extend from the knee and then flex as you squeeze those heels together. Point the toes, drag the toes along the bottom leg, extend from the knee, and then squeeze those heels together. Again, as I bend that knee, I'm trying to create length in the top side of my body. As I extend that leg, I'm not letting anything shift. So you're really trying to stay stacked with everything. If you have any dance training, you might have been trained from here to lift the knee before you extend. It's not what we're going for here. We're trying to keep everything nice and square. And we're gonna do one more full one, and then we're gonna keep that leg extended at the ceiling. And from here, you can either be pointed or flexed, whatever you prefer. You're really trying to keep the pelvis steady as you bring that leg around to the front, and keep the pelvis steady as you bring that leg back up to the ceiling. As you do this, the tendency is to kick that top hip back to counteract the weight of the leg going forward. Try to keep the hips stacked as if you have a steel rod going through the pelvis. The longer your legs are, the harder this is. So just keep that in mind. If you need to, you can do a slight bend of that knee, and that's going to make it a little bit easier for those of you who have very long legs or who might just be having a little bit of trouble holding that long leg. This next one, we're going to stay low, and you're going to do little pulses up. You're trying to move femur and socket and circles, little circles, drawing around a tennis ball. Trying to stabilize that pelvis and reverse. Bend the knee in and extend it out. That was it for the first side, short and sweet. We're gonna swivel around and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All the same setup. Shoulders, ribs, hips along the back of the mat. Toes towards the front of the mat. Long out that top hip, so really try to reach through that top leg so that the pelvis is square. It's gonna get a little bit of a lift on that bottom oblique side, so the bottom side of the body. From here, externally rotate the legs from the femurs in the hip socket. So I don't want it just coming from your feet. I really want it to be a wrap that's happening in that upper thigh. Abs tight. Whatever setup you had for the head on the first side, please do that same one on this second side. And from here, you're gonna reach long out the heel, leg goes up. Point through the toes as you reach it down. And so you're trying to create that length of energy as the leg goes up, and then point and reach out as it goes down. At the top, try not to let this hip hike. Abs are tight. If you're finding this to be easy to stabilize, you can go ahead and reach the top arm up to the ceiling or hand behind the head. And we're going to do one more here with the leg long. Now back to the bending the knee. So glide the toes along the bottom leg. You're bending that top leg so the knee reaches to the ceiling. Extend the leg from the knee, and then squeeze those heels together, keeping that spiral of the femur or that upper leg bone as much as you can. Extend and squeeze heel to heel. And again, you're doing what your body can with this external rotation. My body likes external rotation, so these are easy for me to have the knee up to the ceiling. The last part of this is in internal or parallel, and that is a little bit harder for me. So there's a little bit of each so that whichever one you're strong at, you can feel good about, and then whichever one needs work, you can work on. So last one of the full leg. This one, we're leaving the leg up. From here, if you had your hand on your hip, and you can keep it there, great. Otherwise, put those fingertips in front of you, and you're gonna roll into parallel and bring that leg to the front. And then from here, try to keep it. You're using that outer glute to bring that leg back up to the ceiling. Trying to reach long through that top hip bone, reaching it out towards the heel of the bottom leg. Trying to get as far up as you can to the ceiling without compensating. So just a reminder, it's harder if your legs are long. If you want to make it a little easier, you can have a slight bend in the knee. Another way you can make it easier is to bring it down to knee height instead of hip height. Last one here, and then At the bottom, we're gonna go for our pulses. So stay low, little lift and lowers, 1. Good. Trying to stay in that parallel. And circles. Again, if you get cramps in your feet or calves, you can have that foot flexed here, that's okay. You need a little more hamstring flexibility to have that flexed foot. And reverse it. It's like you're going around a tennis ball. They're not too big, but you're trying to stay as stable as possible. Good. And bend it in. And straighten it out. And come on up. So that was your quick little straight leg side lying series. I would pair that with a front support, back line, ab series, something to that effect, because this is just getting those external glutes, and you need to add a little bit of ab and back in order to make that a full body workout. All right, I'll see you next time.